listening to the Bodds podcast with your hosts, the Oddsfellow, Punisher Picks, LockBets.net, and your announcer, Guns Picks. So time to strap in, dads. It's time to join the father figures in the Dad Bodds podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Dad Bodds podcast, episode number 73. And yes, I am the only dad in the room because I think LockBet's getting a root canal, but I am joined with two very special guests, and you might know them from the Hustle podcast. One of them does a hula a lot. Is Chris Thurston at CTBet16 on Twitter, and Adam Trigger. Pew pew. SI. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining the podcast. How you doing?
We are in Dallas, Texas right now. And I have to say, Guns, it's colder here than it was when I left New York this morning. And the bar we were just in, so what I realize now is they're not used to this weather. And I don't think they have heat inside. You know, you go into the bar in New York, Massachusetts, where it'll be cold as hell, but places pay their heating bills and they have heat. The bar, and they're the guy's this building's 110 years old. I mean, the place is gorgeous, but it's an older building. It just doesn't make sense to heat it. And we're like, it doesn't make sense to heat it. What are you talking about? And we just froze at the bar for 2 hours.
It's freezing here. You'd think it'd be a little bit better than Boston, but it is not. But we're glad to be here with you, Guns. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I mean, man, I remember living in Las Vegas, and the first time I saw snow there, I was so confused, and nobody knew how to deal with snow. I'm from Maine, so I know how to drive in snow. I can still go the speed limit. They didn't have plows. They didn't have sand trucks. They had nothing. So basically, they just let the snow do as it may until whenever the temperature was warm enough for it to melt, and they never plowed it. It was an insane time. I can't imagine not having heat when it's cold.
Yeah, he's
in a place where it's not normal.
They didn't really build this to heat it, so the bartenders had hand warmers. They were literally the hand warmers that you
like Brett Favre in 95 when he's just sitting there in Green Bay,
the ones that you break up and they're you take them skiing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every bartender was just breaking hand warmers up and holding them between making drinks. It was wild.
Unreal. So we're basically making this one the college basketball style podcast. We only want to talk about college basketball. We're getting to the end of the regular season. We're getting into the Ides of March, and now we're getting into conference tourneys. And then next thing you know, it'd be the League of 68. I got to ask you guys this because I was thinking about this on the ride home. Do you think the number one time of the year is that first week of college basketball tourneys? Does it outcome bowl season, for example?
For me, it does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Chris might disagree with that, but for me, it does. That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the field gets cut from 68 to 16, it doesn't get better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think bowl season is great, but bowl season is actually, this bowl season was really good, shockingly for me. Usually it's a pretty big struggle, but you don't know what you're going to get. It's kind of a crapshoot there. Don't know who's going to play, who's going to coach, and whatnot. But no, I agree with you, Guns and Trig. The first weekend of March Madness, I mean, nothing better. And now we get it back to normal, finally. Yeah. This March Madness, Guns, Thursday through Sunday, the way it should be. Last year, obviously, was Friday through Monday, which was weird and totally different. And now everybody could go back to taking Thursday and Friday off of work and banging the games and drinking beers.
You read my mind. I already put that vacation notice for the job, my other job, not this one, but yeah, if you're smart and you're a full-time employee, you got benefits and everything like that, and you have vacation time, 2 of those days need to be used for March Madness for that first week at the very least. And I completely agree with that. But I want to get into like your thoughts of now we're getting to the end of the season. What teams, I mean, from my standpoint, I'm having a hard time. Just usually there's like maybe 1 to 3 teams where I could say those teams, when I fill out a bracket, they at least 2 of those teams need to be in the Final Four. I'm really having a hard time having that vision like I normally do. Are you guys dealing with the same thing at all? Or do you have teams that you think these teams are probably going to end up in the Final Four?
Guns, I'm going to let Chris answer this, but I just want to preface it by saying this. We're on the flight here. I pull up John Rothstein's top 10. And I was like, Chris, how does he have Arizona second? I was like, they're not, are they? And he's like, well, who are you going to put before them? And I'm looking and I'm like, wow. Mm-hmm. He's kind of right. Like all these teams are kind of close.
Yeah.
Purdue, Arizona, we both agreed if Kentucky was healthy, they might be right like, way up there. But man, I'm looking at 1 through 10, and I'm not seeing like a huge difference. Whereas last year it was like Gonzaga, Baylor. You knew that they were going to be in the Final Four, and someone else might sneak in. But this year there's a lot of parity in the top 10, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, Guns. I was going to answer the question as well. This year, it seems like it's kind of wide open, but I agree. Obviously, that Kentucky team without Wheeler last night and Ty Washington, still a great comeback. Obviously, they're at Rupp Arena. Obviously, they're undefeated. They're a tough place to play. It's going to be a lot different come tournament time. But I've been saying for the past 2-3 weeks, this is not like your ordinary John Calipari team, more mature, not one and dones here. They want to be there. They want to make a run here. They're not thinking about next year and going pro. And one of the what, Guns? I was on Virginia last night, +6. Mm-hmm. They covered. Yep. Man, Duke looks a little scary right now. They really, really do. They got a lot of playmakers, a lot of guys that can make shots. And this doesn't really come into my handicap. It is Coach K's last year, but you got to think those kids are going to play extra tough for him. And I just really can't see them getting bounced early this year.
I agree with you that one because with Duke teams as of maybe the last 5 years, they've been very young, and why they made it into winning a national championship when they had that great team 6 years ago is they're missing that component, that cook, that guy that can just kind of hone the team in. These young kids, when they get into these tournament situations, they kind of look at each other as who can take the ball when the game's on the line. And sometimes you have to rely on the senior. You have to rely on the junior. They do have those guys, but I just don't know where that leader is. And also there's the transition of the coach. They're going from Coach K to John Shire. I don't know who's really controlling the team anymore. I know Coach K has, you see some health issues here and there with him. That ACC all in general is just one of the weakest major conferences in the league. And then you have Duke just winning by 4, winning by 5, not really covering spreads. They're just doing enough to get the W's, but also they beat Gonzaga. When they played a non-conference schedule, they played really well. So I don't know where this team is going to be come tournament time when they get in the 68. I think they're going to be a 3 seed, which is kind of like a dead spot for a lot of teams. But they're a team that in my head, I see them going to a Sweet 16 and getting beat, or maybe an Elite 8 and get beat. But I don't see them going any further than that. But that's my opinion. And I'm a Duke fan. I'm just a realist. Going further into, I guess, tonight's slate, I know you guys have a few picks on in that regard. Is there anything that's sticking out that maybe on the 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock slate that you see that could be a potential play for anybody?
You want to go? You want me to go?
Why don't you start it, and then I'll run down some other stuff that I've seen. Yeah,
no problem. We're a little screwed up here on the time zones because we're an hour back. So I believe this is 9:30 Eastern time.
It is, yeah.
8:30 our time, Texas, and I'm going to go to the Pac-12 here. Not a conference I usually go to, and that's UCLA at the Oregon Ducks. And I think you're going to be surprised here, Guns. I realized how good of a coach Mick Cronin actually was last year at Circa when I was watching with Trig.
Oh, we hit that.
The play-in game. Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, Gun. They had to play in last year to get in the
That's right.
Versus Michigan State as a dog.
And they were down by like 12 at one point in that game, and they came back. Yes.
That's a good spot for a lot of teams, though. You've seen a lot of teams get into that spot, win it, and then go far into the tournament. So not a bad spot.
Yeah, this team, I was, mother effing Trig. Trig said that we're taking UCLA in the playing game, and I think Michigan State was given 2 or 3. The whole book at Circa was on Michigan State. We were the only 2 in the building that had UCLA, and obviously we know how that turned out. Mick Cronin, in my head, wow, what an unbelievable job he's done with this program in a short amount of time. And this is the most injury-plagued team he's ever had in his 19-year career, Guns.
Yeah.
And yet they still keep winning games. They've lost 5 games. They keep winning game after game. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're down Juzang and Cody Riley this past Saturday night versus a Washington team. Obviously, mediocre Washington team. Still smash them. No problem. I mean, Clark plays a great game. Singleton comes off the bench, gives them about 20 points. It's unbelievable. Now, tonight, obviously, Tiger Campbell, he's not going to get the go. Guess he's out. Juzang's going to be back. He played last game versus Arizona State, only 10 points. Obviously, I think he was 0 for 5 from the three-point line, but I think he's going to be better tonight. Cody Riley's going to be better tonight. I know this is a short number. This is a revenge spot here. Every game that UCLA has lost, they've shot under 40% from the floor. They shot 39% earlier in January versus this Oregon Ducks team who went to UCLA and beat them. I like UCLA tonight, -2.5. Lay the short number. Usually not the kind of game I bet, not my style. I really do like UCLA to take it to the Oregon Ducks tonight. They've been struggling, lost 3 of their last 4. Yes, they played great the other night. Saturday, I believe, lost by 3 to Arizona, played a tough Arizona team, stayed with them the whole time. I'm laying the 2.5 tonight, Guns. I like UCLA to get the win and split the series for the year.
I'll throw one more thing out on that game. Obviously, it's a revenge spot. I think that goes without saying. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but Oregon won the first game, and they won as a massive dog. Mm-hmm. So they moved the number. I mean, Oregon was 10 plus 10. I think they were plus 10.5.
9.5.
I think it actually went off double digits in that game. And now, it kind of feels like you can get UCLA at a bargain. So I tend to agree with Chris. I don't know if Tiger Campbell means overwhelmingly move the number type to UCLA. And Jaquez is back, and he was kind of playing like lighter minutes the last few games. So that's going to be a good game. I personally, if I was going to bet it, would probably money line, take the UCLA money line and bite the bullet and just lay a little bit more juice. But I can't disagree with him there on the Bruins.
Well, I have a game for the late night, and it's going to be part of my Dad Bod's Capper breakdown. So let's hit the intro right now.
It is time for the Dad Bod's Capper breakdown.
Oh yeah. So for the Dad Bod's Capper breakdown, it is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila Seltzers is a refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, especially when you get into March Madness. As it was created for the active lifestyle in mind, Viva flavored their tequila because of flavor is the spice of life, and they like their drinks with the kick, just as they like to live their lives. Viva flavors perfectly with our artisanal Blanco tequila for our subtle and refreshing drinks. Their belief is to live long, live well, and live it up Hashtag Viva Up. So for my pick, I'm actually going on the opposite side here. Let me tell you why. Because this Oregon team, they've lost 3 out of the last 4, only beaten Oregon. They've lost back-to-back road games. You look at the UCLA side, they've had 3 straight road games. This is their 4th game in 7 days. They're going on the road to play Oregon, an Oregon team that's sitting 17-10. They need to win more than UCLA does. And you talked about the Campbell situation. He averages 11 points per game. He's had 27, I think, a couple games ago. He had a real big game. But I know this is a revenge spot for UCLA. I understand that. But like I said, I think this UCLA team is a little bit gassed, a little bit banged up. You have an Oregon team just a little bit hungrier. They're getting +3. They were +9.5 on the road. I like the line movement. I like the short line. I think this could be a potential letdown spot. Both teams have a very similar schedule moving forward. So I'm riding the contrarian side on this one. I'm going to be taking Oregon +3 as my dad Bodds pick, and I'm going to chug a beer about it.
All right. That everyone's a winner when you're chugging beer. So love that.
Hey, no problem. I was on the opposite side of Drew Martin bets last night. He got the better of me in the Michigan Rutgers game. So, hey, at least one of us will win tonight. But, yeah, like I said, not my usual style, but just got a feeling here.
Yep, and then watch Oregon lose by 20. So it's going to be fun.
So, Guns, we can kind of switch gears here because I have opinions on a bunch of the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock games, and I'm just going to kind of go in order and let you know what I've kind of seen so far. So the first one that I know people want to talk about is Gonzaga San Francisco.
Yeah.
And CT and I kind of talked about this one earlier. One of our hustle listeners kind of commented and said, San Francisco's got to be a best bet tonight. And normally I'd be looking at trying to get on San Francisco in this spot, but Gonzaga, the line in that game feels very short to me. I would have wanted, so I'm looking at the odds screen right now, and see, now you're starting to see it creep up a little bit, which makes me, at least kind of look toward the San Francisco side a little bit more. I would have wanted 13 or 14 here to back San Francisco. At 10 and 10.5, Gonzaga really hasn't played well the last couple games. It's a national TV game. Yeah. A little weird. San Francisco is a side that I'd normally be on, but I'm a little bit weary here because I feel like even though I think they're the contrarian side and probably the sharper side, I feel like I should be getting more than 10.5. I feel like I should be getting 13 or 14. Yeah. So for that reason, I can't jump in with that one. I will give you a couple that I know have seen sharp action. I know there's definitely a sharp buy on Belmont +3. That's rotation number 825.
Yep.
I know that UC Davis, rotation 832, has definitely gotten hit by a couple sharp guys I really respect. And I'll just kind of go into that one quick. Listen, Santa Barbara, this isn't the Santa Barbara team you've seen the last couple of years. I think they're probably getting priced a little bit more on reputation there because it's a small conference, and we've seen some really good Santa Barbara teams in the last few years, and they're just not that team this year. So UC Davis getting a little bit of sharp action. And the other one is, where did it go? Oh, so, I mean, I don't even know if I can say this, but I know the right angle side is Cal Irvine. And I know another sharp group played it, and I know it moved, and I know they moved it essentially. Yep. Now you're looking at -3 on Cal Irvine.
Mm-hmm.
I know another sharp group that played the money line. That's how I would play it if I was going to get involved. I would look toward Cal Irvine on the money line. You can still get it at -1, probably -150 at this point. I'm just not big on laying 3, but that's how I would play that one. And there was one more that hasn't started that I know was worth mentioning. I'm just looking. I'm trying to find where it is here. I guess this one's not so much sharp as much as it is CT and I looking for a little degenerate action later.
Yeah.
But Oregon State didn't. Now I'm going off memory here. I feel like they gave USC a good game the first time around, and the market looks like Oregon State could be a play at like in the 11 o'clock hour. I'll just leave it at that.
I always feel that Oregon State has always been a sharp angle for a lot of, and for some reason, every time I jump on board on that one, Oregon State, from just a trend standpoint, they just can't cover spreads. No matter if it's home or away or something like that. I don't know if they have the motivation or anything like that at this far down in the end of the season, and you need to like kind of throw all like sharp and public aside and just go where teams need wins, especially teams that have like 8 losses or 10 losses, and like having you see these teams that are going into the last 4. May have like anywhere between like 12 and 13 losses at the most. And so, that was the Oregon angle I took, is like, because they've lost 3 out of the last 4.
Sure.
They need the win. And their schedule's tough going down. They play UCLA next. They have Washington State. So that was kind of like my angle. And I think there's a lot of teams that kind of fall into that same regard. But I don't know if you guys
need the win. Right now, they're out. Oregon's out right
Correct.
now. And I understand your angle too, Guns. I mean, Dan Altman, he's a great coach, and if there's a guy that could get a team ready to play, to make the tournament, it's definitely him for sure.
Yep. Yeah, and especially playing at home. If they're playing on the road to UCLA, I would never take this, because that just like, it seems like, especially this year, you see, like when I'm doing my capping and everything like that, I see so many teams that just cannot play on the road, and I don't know why that is.
I want to just throw in quick, like, I'm a Dana Altman guy. I've probably said it on like a million shows. Like, I knew he was going to get that Oregon team playing extremely well, which he's done. I mean, better than they were, I guess, like, in relation to what they were at the beginning of the year. For me, I don't have as strong of an opinion in that game, but I'm just kind of in the I'm not going to step in front of UCLA right now until like I can find a really good spot to do so.
Right.
But there's no question, like, Dana Altman's, I've said this on like every show I was on. He, in my opinion, like, you could make a case he's the best coach in the Pac-12. And Cronin's the man. I've actually met Cronin. I met Mick Cronin at a bar in Saratoga. He was up at the racetrack, and he was the fucking coolest guy too. So Mick Cronin, good guy. Met him, awesome. He's also very short.
Yeah, we need.
How short? I mean, how tall is he? What do you think? Like 5'4", 5'6"?
He's short. Like, he was like smaller than I expected.
Yeah, you said that last year when we were watching.
Yeah.
Do you think going into the tournament, height is very important for a coach? Like, is the short guy have an advantage over a John Thompson or something like that? I don't know. I mean, going into the last couple of weeks of the season into the beginning of March, do you have any teams, like even mid-majors, that you think are going to make like a nice run in the tournament? Is there anybody that like, and don't say Missouri State, because I know you're going to say that.
Not going to say Missouri State. CT and I took Arkansas 80-1. I think it's dropped a little bit.
I love that pick. I
think it's dropped a little bit, but we got 80-1. And I mean, one of our, like, the Hustle viewers tweeted out earlier, like, I see it at 69-1. Do I take it? And we were both like, yeah, I mean, you should still probably take it.
100%. Yeah.
Like, I think what Joey, one of our friends, texted us and was like, Arkansas and Providence were like the same, right? And we were both like, well, Arkansas is just better than Providence. I know like the rankings would suggest otherwise, but that's a team I think is like super live, and you could probably jump on like now is Arkansas. Like Eric Musselman is a phenomenal coach. I mean, he took Nevada teams. Yeah, he took Nevada teams to like the Sweet 16. I think maybe they lost to Loyola Chicago in like a nail biter that could have easily won the game and gone deeper. No, Arkansas has got the athletes. Like that's a team that I think right now for like a price, like they legitimately could get to a Final Four. They could also be out in the first round because they can be inconsistent at times, but they haven't been lately. But you want to talk about athletes, talent, coach. I think Arkansas. I think that's a great bet if you can get him at like some obnoxious number right now. I could totally see them being around in like the Sweet 16, Elite 8 this year.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I think, especially with the experience, I think at some point you see these teams that are really playing on a high level, and I think Arkansas is playing good, like real hot at the right time. And you have to look at the coach if he has the experience to make it far into the tournament. And Musselman already has a resume that he can do that, and he's done it with teams with lack of the resources for a better term. So, and as long as that team stays healthy all the way through, I got another question too. I was thinking about like just conference tournaments in general. So some of these teams already have their spots pretty much filled. It's just a matter of seeding at that point, whether you have a 2, 3, 4 or whatever. Do you think the conference tournaments from a capping standpoint become more like you're analyzing motivation in bowl season? I was kind of thinking about that when you think of like last year with the Big East, you had Georgetown that had no chance of making the tournament unless they won their conference, and they did. So it like stuff like that, I always wonder. And when I think of Duke has never won an ACC conference tournament unless they've lost in the semifinals or something like that. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that I always think of if when you're capping conference champions, the conference tournaments, is that something that you guys look for as far as motivation? I would think coaches want to rest their players as much as possible and just try to get their teams to like maybe the semifinals, and then they kind of like turn it off.
Yeah, it's something I look at for sure.
Yeah.
I remember a few years back when Beeline was the coach of Michigan, and they went on that absolute run. And I said to one of my buddies, Derek, I said before the Big Ten tournament started, I said, Michigan needs to make a run here, get into the tournament, and they absolutely did. They trucked everybody, rolled Michigan State. I think this was the year right before COVID. It was the final year. Rolled Michigan State in the Big Ten finals, get into the big dance, make a huge run. I think that's a great point by you, Guns. I think that motivation is a huge factor into handicapping it.
Yeah.
Because those kids get up and you need to play well to get in. And want to know what? I want to be back in the team that's playing well the week before the tournament starts and keeps it rolling. Like we've seen with that. Michigan's done that numerous years, Trey. Numerous times.
Yeah.
So, I want to be all over those teams.
There was one year, I think it was when Duke won the national championship. I had Duke, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Michigan State had to win. They won their conference tournament. And I'm like, that team is going to be a problem for anybody. And they were like an 8 seed. And I picked them all the way through. I had like the perfect bracket. And like I won so many. But it's stuff like that, a team may be on the brink of making it. And they just make this run. And they get to the end. Those are the teams you need to look for to make it at least to the Sweet 16. Like, depending on the seeding, of course, if you're in a bracket with Gonzaga to me is every year is beatable, except for maybe last year. Like I felt that team should have won the national championship. This year, I still think they're beatable. I don't feel that this is one of those teams that I saw last year with the strength that they had. When they played out of conference, they played a lot stronger than they did. When I saw them play Duke, I saw weaknesses, even with their top freshmen. Those are the stuff that I kind of look for. I think when you have even if you haven't watched college basketball all year, sometimes watching the conference championships can give you help to find sleepers. You're not going to really see much effort from the top seeds. But you're gonna see some teams that are like, wait a second, these teams want to be here. They want to get to the tournament. They want that top. It's like those are the teams that are kind of going to be in a spot. But joining us live, fresh from the dentist, lockbets.net. What's going on, my friend? How you doing? How's your teeth? Did you have root canals?
I'm happy.
Novocaine?
I'm happy to see you guys because the last hour and a half, all I was looking at was the top section of Natalie from this dentist. I saw the top of her nose hairs. I can tell you every single follicle of hair. That I hate the fucking dentist. Holy cow! I thought I liked the dentist. My hands were up. I was like, "What do you want me to do?"
Well, that's because the last time you went to the dentist, you were 5 years old. I mean, you got candy, dude.
I know. They did the X-ray. They're like, "Oh, you look good. You have any pre-existing conditions or anything?" I go, "Yeah, I had one cavity." How long ago was that? Oh, 15 years ago. Anyways, I'm so sorry for being late. I did tell Guns that I had a dentist appointment, but
He did.
Listen, the show must go on. I've heard through the grapevine the dentist was actually watching it. You guys have been crushing it. See what's up, Adam Trigger. First time I think I've met you in person. Hopefully,
another drink. Cheers.
Hopefully you can follow me tonight. Who knows? Maybe
I'll follow you right now, Locke. I'll follow you right now.
Go.
Might as well follow him on TikTok.
I
because
look
he is
like
a TikTok
I
guru
look
too.
like a run-of-the-mill tout idiot, and it's only half true. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot tout, but I'm actually handsome as well. So they forget that in the bio. Anyways, I have a beer, guys. I heard you guys are pre-gaming.
Oh yeah,
and, down the hatch we go. Cheers, motherfuckers.
He's the best chugger in the group. I can't imagine. He got me.
awesome.
All right.
Our Uber driver gave us a 6-pack of Modelo, so that's what we're doing.
Modelo.
He left us. That was like a
It is
gift from him.
Texas. All right.
So,
Yeah, just to catch everybody up, you want to see Adam Trigger and CT Betts. They will be at the Baylor game. What, Saturday? Is that what it is? Baylor in Kansas,
Saturday.
right? Okay.
8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. We're going College Game Day, which will be live here, Texas, at 10 in the morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be in the stands for that. Going to get some barbecue after, and then rock and roll the game.
I tell you what, CT lives a horrible life. Horrible. I mean, underappreciated the content that you're spitting out. But I mean, the other day, was that a flashback? It was Ariel. It was Kelly. You guys looked like you guys were at a day drink, a day bar. What was this story?
Oh yeah. That was
this past summer during 4th of July weekend.
Oh, that weekend must have sucked, huh?
The funny thing
the weather
is,
sucked. We made the best of it.
The weather was so bad. Like if you talk to Kelly, she would describe it like she was literally like in jail for 4 days. Like it's like the worst weekend of her life. But like we had like a blast. I mean, we still had a blast. Like it really was though. I mean, I don't think I've seen weather that bad on the 4th of July ever. Like it was like the
rained
worst.
every day.
Where was it? Was that your beach spot, CT, or was that Vegas?
Oh yeah, there was no beach.
That was
no beach that weekend
in Swampscott, Mass, which is a really good beach town. And we were not able to go to the beach.
Swampscott, Mass, cuz.
That's it, kid.
Hell yeah. Hey, funny story. I actually got arrested by a cop, and I called him kid. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Bad idea.
They don't like pal either. You call him pal. They don't
I've never done that. No, it was you have like the New England comes out of me when the alcohol is lubricated in Guns pick system, and a lot of kids, a lot of cousins.
That's a New York thing. You call someone pal, that's like pretty,
That's fighting words.
Yeah.
We don't. I was actually gonna say we don't. I mean, I'm from North Jersey.
Yeah. So
Montclair, New Jersey, just a stone throws across from the real New York. I mean, Montclair is a bunch of idiots, touts. But what was I gonna say? Pal's no good. Guy, I don't even like Guy. Hey, Guy.
Yeah.
More of a cuz. I actually say brother a lot to everybody. Love brother. And I actually, the New Jersey in me, I do call up, he'll pop. Hey, pop. But that's
yeah. My friends are big on that. Well, my couple of Sienna guys that live in Jersey now, they go with the pop.
Yeah. Hey, pop. Hey, what are you doing, pop? Popo.
Hey, Lockbass, now you're on. We've been talking about college basketball. I know me and you are the college basketball gurus.
Have you guys been having a fun time with this college basketball year?
I have not.
I think historically, Guns, it's been at least my worst year, and
Yes.
I'm talking for you too, right?
Yes, 51% right now. Me and CT had therapy session on Saturday just talking about it. And I was like, I'm on these 3 picks at 7 and like 2 out of 3 hit. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I do have a play that starts at 9 p.m. that'll probably lose. So any viewers at home, my podcast play today was I got Ohio State +7. Is that bad?
No, I'm on it. I like that one.
I like it.
I like that one. I'm on that one too. I didn't post it, but I'm on that one.
So I tweeted out earlier, like I was like, wow, they're gonna make you lay a ton to bet Illinois. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so last night on our show, we talked about Colorado State, Wyoming, and how there were some sharp buys on Colorado State, and we all kind of like sat around and said, man, that number is way too big. And it turned out that Wyoming got the money because the number really was too big. It was a 6-point final. And I think and I know Kelly was in our group chat earlier, and we all kind of agreed that this is the same game. This is the same game as Wyoming, Colorado State last night, where it's like, Illinois is probably the right spot, the right side. They're probably going to win the game. But if you're talking numbers, if you just want to talk like a numbers play, that's too many points. Ohio State is getting too many points, and then you have to just kind of let the chips fall where they may. But that's kind of why I tweeted it out. It's like I would probably look to bet Illinois in this spot, but the odds makers beat you to it, right? They're going to force you to lay a number that's uncomfortable, and that could kind of like last night. They said, we're not going to get beat by the sharp guys on Colorado State. We're just going to come out here and make it 6.5. And then what do? So it's almost like from a numbers perspective, I can't put anyone off Ohio State because that's too many in theory. And that's,
Why'd you bring up Colorado State? I had the 6.5 on Colorado State. I thought it was a perfect spot. Yeah, I don't want to get into this, man.
It was.
We talked about it last night, and all of us were like, my God, we would love to lay it with Colorado State tonight, but it's just too many. And those public dogs have just been covering and gobbling the points up and almost winning outright. And look what happened last night. I mean, you almost got it. What was 6, right?
Yes, it's that half. It's that half that I was like, I need to stop just taking halves and just make it even. If I lose it, at least I took it like at -2, -3.
You beat the market at 6.5 because I'm pretty sure it was 7 for like most of the
day. I mean, I bought it at like 3 p.m. on this, before tip off. So I mean Eastern time. So yeah, it's that's what it's been like. It's like am I buying the lines too early, and then I'm watching them move in the direction they want. So I'm feeling very confident that I got the right number, and I'm still getting screwed.
It doesn't matter this year. I beat the closing number every night. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, that's what Kelly complains about. She's like, well, I bet it at 5. Now it's 5.5. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's sometimes
it's crazy.
Really beating.
I got donkey whipped in the butt yesterday. I had Wisconsin and I had Texas 9.5. And both of them, I just felt like I got like a huge bottle knocked on my head.
I got Texas. The last 2 days, I've had 4 pushes. I had Texas at 9. It's like I only had 4 pushes like all year.
Guys, in 2022. Is it too early? Have you asked him yet? Is this too early to start talking March Madness?
No, we've been talking March Madness the whole time. Yeah, I mean.
I'm starting from the front.
I'll bring it up to you, Locke, so while you're on the line. So we've been talking about, like, are there any teams that stick out, like 1 or 2 teams that you think are going to be like, I'm going to put those teams in the Final Four, no problem? Because last year I had that feeling. This year, not so much. What do you think?
First off, before I don't want to get too deep into it, but what's going on with Boston College? Is there something in the water that they're drinking or something? Because that's not the same Boston College that started in the beginning of the season. I mean, they're not always covering spreads. They're embarrassing. I mean, what was the game the other day that I was monitoring? Boston College ran
Notre Dame.
Gym.
Notre Dame.
Did they beat Notre Dame or no?
I think it was the Notre Dame game, but they have been playing better. No one goes to the games. It's an absolute joke.
I wrote down Boston College months ago. Stinks. It fucking smells. It fucking horrible. All right. If you're gonna go to Boston, you're never gonna go to BC. You're probably gonna go to the BU parties, right? You're gonna do something else. You're not gonna go to
listen. My sister went to BU. I went out and hung out with the BU crowd for 4 straight years. I didn't even know where Boston College was. I knew it was like at the end of the train line or something. Like it's not even in Boston. So it's like, no one goes there.
What did you think of the accents when you were with them?
Boston's a time, man. Boston.
Listen. I lived in Somerville for a year and a half. Somerville is the shit. Shout out Davis Square, man.
I got a quick story that I'm going to share with you guys. I've never told any of this story, and you'll like it. My roommate at University of South Carolina from Newton, Mass. All right, so he's a Newton Masshole. His brother played at BU hockey with the one and only Jackie Eichel. 1 year only. They were fucking roommates. So my roommate, his brother, his roommate's Jack Eichel. So I go to Boston over winter break. First person I fucking meet, Jack Eichel. This guy is towering over me. Now, Jack Eichel, for everybody who doesn't know, I mean, he was the second overall pick in the NHL draft.
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I've never stayed up so late with somebody. Just 1v1, bottle of Ciroc, everybody's sleeping. And I actually had to put Jack Eichel to bed at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And then get this, 7:15 comes around. And I've never seen girls try to take advantage of somebody. I look up like, Jack, are we still drinking? There's 4 Boston chicks, just no shame at all, going all over them.
Pull out your cork. I want to see it.
We're not hockey podcast, but Jack Eichel, if you're out there, you remember me. You had a night to remember. All right.
That's awesome.
That's dangerous for athletes. Oh my God. Dude. Yeah.
Unbelievable. And by the way, he was 17 at the time or 6. I mean, he probably graduated early. He only did 1 year. He only did 1 year in college. This kid is fucking ripped. I'm 21.
All right.
We
need a disclaimer on this one.
Anyway, the one team that I see in the Elite 8, I can't give you sweet Final Four. I think Arkansas.
There he is.
I fucking love the coaching there, and I love the type of players that are in that system. I think they can go deep.
I love that he had no clue because he was at the dentist that we just talked about that.
Yes. I had no idea.
We had a good talk about Arkansas.
That's awesome.
Yes. I think that's a sleeper. I think if you want any value in a team, like that's the one that you feel comfortable with. It's like
I'm gonna hold on though.
Okay.
I think, and I'll kick this over to CT because he knows more about this than me. But like Baylor, has been hurt all year, and at some point they're gonna get all these guys back, and when they do, they're probably a top 10 team. So where would you jump in now before they get the guys back, or
So I think that this Saturday, I think Cryer is going to play. I think that's the reason why he didn't play on Monday night. First, they're on the road versus Oklahoma State. Obviously, it was a tough game. They won overtime, and they are going to get more and more healthy. It sucks that they lost JTT, but Flo Thamba has stepped in and he's playing well. Adam Flagler is hurt with a knee injury, and he went off on Monday night. If they didn't have him, there was no chance they would have won that game. Right. A lot of people telling me that Baylor has no chance on this Saturday night. That's a tough team at home. And Scott Drew, guns, locks, probably the best coach in NCAA double basketball to rearrange his team on injuries. Wasn't going to say the best. You thought I was going to say the best coach in the NCAA. I'm not going to say that. He's one of them. But having injuries, one of the best to kind of get everybody together, reformulate, and come together and play good basketball. And he has done that. And I fully expect that team. I told Trig at the beginning of the year, he told me that Baylor was going to be a fade for him this year. I said, Trig, they're going to be good. And we saw at the beginning of the season, they rocked and rolled Nova at home. I think Nova scored 15 points in the first half. That Baylor team, healthy boys, is a good team.
Well, I'll just follow that up with, I guess I thought they might be a fade because they lost a trio of guards that was a literal all-time college basketball trio of guards. And then, Langston Love went down.
Langston Love, the freshman.
But I'll echo that sentiment. Like, you can't find 3 coaches in college basketball that are better than Scott Drew. You can't find 3 that are better. He's got to be a top 3 coach. And so I just look at it and say, okay, they haven't covered very often lately, but they played that TCU game with like 6 guys. And they're going to get guys back. And still they've managed to hang around the top 10 nationally with like this skeleton crew. So I definitely like them on Saturday because I do feel like everyone's going to get up for the Kansas game. Like, I was telling him, I was talking to Kel and we were all talking. I'm like, you know what? If I'm a student athlete, like I better have like a leg amputated to miss the like, I'm not missing a home game against Kansas.
This is what you live for.
That's what you live for.
And you know what? These students probably haven't had the most traditional way of being in college. If there's one way to be traditional, you're at this game. You're in the parking lot of this game. You're tailgating this game, right? I mean, this is going to be crazy.
Plus, with the Big 12 conference in general, I mean, if you're not riding the home team, like, I don't know, like, I'm transitioning to a pick that I'm going to take on Saturday. I know you guys are talking about a game on Saturday, but there's a pick that I like on Saturday, and I don't even know what the line's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be +4, +5, so you're going to get a home dog in this situation. I like TCU, and let me tell you why. I am the Texas Tech whisperer. I know, like, I figured out Texas Tech. I did go on the Hustle podcast once, and I gave a pick of Kansas State, and I said they're going to win outright.
That was a great pick.
They're going to win at home. And this has that similar kind of feel. Listen, Texas Tech has been great. They've been absolutely electric, but they've been electric at home. On the road, they are not that good. They are 3-5 straight up on the road. And I know you can take a few teams that are on that high rank situation, but Kansas State was one of those losses that they took. And also there's a revenge factor in this one. With TCU, they lost big time as a 10.5-point dog on the road to Texas Tech. So there is a revenge factor in that spot. Also, there is a look-ahead spot for Texas Tech because they got to play Kansas State. The pick that I took on the Hustle podcast, I think they're going to be a little bit looking ahead. This team is running red hot, but they've been playing a lot of home games in this situation. So I like TCU, whatever the line is. I think it's going to be like +3.5, +4. That's what I'm guessing based on what the last line was when they were on the road. I think, what I say, 10.5. So give me TCU, whatever the line is. I gave you Arkansas last week. I'm going to give you TCU this
whatever
week.
The line
give me TCU.
Whatever
the line is.
I like it.
That is my prognostication. Gunstradamus. Put the hat.
I love. Oh wait, come on.
Come on, Guns.
What's the pick? What's the pick?
TCU. In a beer chug.
Well, you gotta chug it.
I think Chris and I are willing to give out Baylor whatever the line is on Saturday. I think we're right. Like, would you say that?
Yeah.
Bam.
Wow.
Yeah. No. Give me Baylor whatever the line is.
Guys,
they haven't covered in like a decade at this point, but everyone's gonna play. I have no allegiance to Baylor whatsoever. So I'm just saying that as a neutral. I know I'm going to the game, but I
don't know. Once you get to that Texas soil, man.
Yeah.
Once you start breathing it, right?
That Texas soil is frozen right now, Locke. It is like it feels like
cold there. Yeah.
Wait, remind me, where are you? Baylor's in
Waco.
Waco. That's about an hour away from Dallas.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
how far is
exactly.
I saw some videos today of Dallas cars on the freeway,
Yeah.
and they're all sliding off. And
Yeah,
they're like,
well,
this car is going to go off.
Yep. Chris has a driver down here, and he was going about 100, and he told us that his strategy is to go faster. That's how he combats the ice, and I was fucking terrified. So
I think it makes sense though, because once you slow down, once the wheels stop spinning, you are now at the will of the ice. If you beat the ice,
Locks, I always knew you and I were on the same fucking page. Always knew it.
Dude, CT talks about lock bets a lot, man. Lock bets is a legend. But okay, so for Saturday picks, I got TCU, whatever the line is. Adam Trigger, Top Flight SI, has Baylor, whatever the line is.
Whatever the line is.
Is CT aligned on that one?
I think that was a collab. CT was
a collab, so there's a collab play. Lock bets. Do you have anything for Saturday? Have you looked at Saturday?
No. Listen, I wear too many hats. I got some golf picks that are already in the oven.
Give them.
Percolating. All right. I had Brooks Koepka this week. He was -3 at one point, just on the edge of being top 5 for today, but it's a long week. I think Brooks loves his home games. He's home in the state of Florida. Listen, this field stinks. It stinks. Just because Katayama went -6 today, look for Brooks to make a run. So if you want to hop on live with Brooks, it's time. Anyways, guys, real quick, Triggs and CT. I know that we were making your life a little difficult with my dental appointment. I know you were missing me, C. It's 8:56. Do you guys have a reservation?
We do. We're going to the steakhouse, but we got a few more minutes.
Okay, good. I just don't want. Listen, I'm Zoom professional. I got the Zoom down. I don't want to waste any of your time. You know, I want to give you a few minutes back, as they say in the Zoom world.
No. We love being here. We love you guys. Yeah, we're taking off here in a couple minutes. But
you guys at the Ritz or what?
No, we're going to Bob's Steakhouse at the Omni Hotel.
Ooh.
It's a couple blocks away, and then there's this nice little sports bar there that's literally attached to Bob's Steakhouse. We're gonna crawl on over there after a couple bottles of Camus and whack the late night game. So
wow,
should be an interesting night.
You're really hitting my number, CT. I knew we were on the same wavelength. I've had a few nights, let's just say, at a few North Jersey country clubs where I had to be cut off on the Camus. But
I love that.
Here nor there.
how am I not
Same.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. They're going to be at the local Denny's. And if you're around, please say hi to them. They will sign your Moons Over My Hammy.
Listen, no, seriously, if you're in the Dallas area, come hang out with us. Like, just shoot us a DM. Like, we're out. We want to meet you guys. We're going to hang out. So just like, I don't know if any listeners are in Dallas. I don't know if
there could be. I know there's.
I think if you're in Dallas right now, you're not leaving your house because it's like, I don't think they know how to handle cold down here. No place has heat is what we've discovered. But like, yeah, we're going to be out. So hit us up.
What time do the bars close tonight?
I don't know.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. He says 2 a.m. like that's a big deal. Like New York, we're open till 4. I mean, we have our bars open till 4.
Granted, I'm old. I haven't been up past like 2 a.m. at a bar in like years.
Neither have I.
So we're gonna go out, have a steak, watch the late night game, and be in bed by like 12:30.
I know. Adam's looking at you like 4 a.m. as he puts his bifocals on.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I'm trying to see like what's going on in this game that we have action on, and you have my bifocals. That's fucking hilarious. My girlfriend hates these glasses. They're always dirty.
Hold on, let me put my readers on.
Yeah,
that's bad Bodds.
Dude, my eyes reject contact lenses like they just fucking water. So I have these glasses, and she's like, if you like wear those out, like I'm not with you. Like they're awful, and I don't know what to do. I didn't think they were that bad. You think?
No, they stink.
Yeah, I hate them.
Chris hates them.
I think
they stink. You
Chris
look like look like those
team.
glasses came from the Zapruder film. That's pretty much what they.
I thought they just.
Hey, you're in Texas, so all right. That's gonna do it for the Dad Bodds podcast this week. We went real long, but we had some fun. So you have some picks for Saturday. You have some picks for tonight. But until next time, thank you, Adam Traeger. Thank you, Chris Thurston, aka CT Bets, aka Top Flight SI. Till next time, we'll see you. Wait, hold on. Lock Bet's got to say, what do you got?
Guys, I am challenging everybody who's live at home right now to follow the Hustle Pod right now.
Yes.
Follow CT Bets. Follow Adam Trigger on Twitter. If you do, and you show us proof, all right? I don't know what you're going to have to do. Just send us a little DM or something, but do all of that, and you're going to be entered into a raffle for $100 of my money.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
But anyway,
I love it.
Guys, make sure you do it, though. Give these guys some love. Their fucking podcast is nails. It's
great.
Awesome. And what happened to the Viva La Seltzer? Did Guns drink it?
Oh, no, Viva Seltzer's still.
No, I gave an ad read. I did the proper ad read. I did my part.
Anyways, Guns, finish the outro. I just had to say.
And your seltzers are coming. They'll be there Saturday. So yeah, go check out at CT Bets 16 on Twitter and Top Flight SI on Twitter, and also at Hustle Show Pod. Am I getting that right?
At Hustle Show Pod. Yep.
At Hustle Show Pod, and they're on two times a week. Wednesday
night, Saturday mornings,
and Saturday mornings to get you prepared for college basketball. Until next time, for the Dad Bodds podcast. See ya.